A family of 4 is having breakfast when suddenly, their house begins shaking violently due to a massive earthquake. Gordon quickly pulls his wife and 2 stepsons under the table for safety. At that moment, the woman's ex-husband, Jackson, bursts into the house, urgently telling everyone to get in the car. As houses collapse and streets crack apart, Jackson drives at breakneck speed to avoid falling into the pits. Meanwhile, downtown is in ruins. Bridges and skyscrapers are collapsing, killing thousands. Jackson finally reaches an airport with the group, only to find the pilot dead. Gordon, who once took a few flying lessons, reluctantly steps up. Though nervous and inexperienced, he manages to take off just before the airport is consumed by destruction. 3 years earlier, solar flares of extraordinary power were detected. Dr. Helmsley, a scientist, traveled to India to meet astrophysicist Satnam. They descended deep into a copper mine to examine the situation. Satnam revealed that the solar flares were heating the Earth's core, which he demonstrated by showing boiling groundwater. Helmsley hurriedly returned to the US and interrupted a formal gala to inform Anheuser, a high-ranking government official. By 2010, President Wilson revealed the impending disaster to the G8 leaders. While the general public remains unaware, world leaders start preparing. In the Tibetan mountains, massive arks are secretly being constructed, disguised as a dam project. Locals are evicted unless they have valuable skills, and tickets for the arks are sold to the ultra-rich for €1 billion each. In 2012, cracks start forming in California's streets. People dismiss them as after effects of small tremors. At the White House, Helmsley and Anheuser reveal that their timeline was wrong, and the disaster will strike much sooner. Meanwhile, Jackson takes his kids on a camping trip to Yellowstone. They saw helicopters and fences near the lake, which had dried up and was surrounded by dead animals. After climbing over the barrier, they were detained by the military. Helmsley explained they were investigating geological instability and told Jackson to leave. Later, Jackson encountered a strange man named Charlie, who believed the government was hiding the truth. That evening, Jackson hears Charlie's doomsday broadcast on the radio and becomes curious. Charlie claims he received a secret map from a professor showing the location of government arks. The next day, a powerful earthquake strikes California, tearing open a supermarket. Fortunately, no one is hurt. Meanwhile, Anheuser informs the president that only 4 arks are complete, far too few to save everyone. At a summit, Helmsley explains they have just 2 or 3 days left, prompting President Wilson to start the evacuation protocol. Later, after dropping his kids off at Kate's house, Jackson gets a call from his boss, Karpov, a Russian billionaire. Karpov, who knows about the evacuation, asks Jackson to deliver his sons to the airport. Beginning to believe Charlie's warnings, Jackson rents a private plane and heads to retrieve his family. By now, Los Angeles is sinking into the ocean. The family drives to Yellowstone to find Charlie and his map. They find his van empty. Charlie is on a nearby mountaintop, ready to face the end. Jackson races up the mountain to speak with him, but as birds flee and the ground gives way, he rushes back to the van while Charlie stays behind, broadcasting until a massive volcanic eruption ends his life. Lava rocks rain down, smashing the back of the van, but Jackson races back to the airport, jumping over a massive crack just in time. He takes too long searching for the map, and the van falls into a fissure. The others assume he's dead, but Jackson climbs out at the last second, grabs Kate's hand, and they take off just before the explosion reaches them. On board, Jackson studies the map and sees that their destination is China. Elsewhere, Anheuser and Helmsley monitor global destruction. Iconic sites are being obliterated, millions are dying, and panic spreads. Finally, President Wilson goes on air to reveal the truth to the world. Jackson and his group reached Las Vegas Airport, where Karpov waited with his sons and his girlfriend Tamara. All flights have been grounded, but Sasha, Karpov's pilot, manages to find a large plane. At first, Karpov refuses to help Jackson's family, but when Sasha needs a co-pilot and Gordon volunteers, Karpov relents and allows them to join. They board a huge cargo plane filled with cars. Though air traffic control denies clearance, Sasha and Gordon manage to take off, scraping the top of a building as they leave. As they fly over Hawaii, the group is horrified to see that the islands are completely consumed by lava, with almost no structures remaining. In Tibet, a Buddhist monk named Nima receives a letter from his brother, Tenzin, who works on the secret Ark project and has revealed the truth about the upcoming disaster. After receiving permission from his master, Nima descends from the mountains to retrieve his grandparents. Meanwhile, in Washington, D.C., President Wilson wakes up amidst ruins and bodies, his face covered in ash. But before he can escape, a massive tsunami crashes through the city, killing him and any survivors from the earlier quake. Elsewhere, Helmsley realizes that the Ark base will be underwater in roughly 6 hours. He also discovers that the Earth's crust has shifted dramatically. The magnetic poles have reversed, and the North Pole is now located in Wisconsin. Back with Jackson and the group, pilot Sasha informs everyone that they're running low on fuel and must make an emergency landing. As the plane descends, they discover that the ocean is gone, due to the shifting continents. They've ended up in the Himalayas, close to the Ark facility. As the engines fail, Sasha instructs everyone to get into a car inside the cargo hold. Gordon helps Sasha at first, but the pilot tells him to go with the others. The family escapes in the car, which lands safely on the snow. Sasha attempts to land the plane, but it slides off an icy cliff and explodes. Right then, Chinese helicopters fly overhead, transporting animals to the arks. Some soldiers spot the survivors and descend, but only permit those with tickets. Karpov boards with his kids, but leaves Tamara behind, knowing she cheated on him with Sasha. He's even glad Sasha is dead. The remaining group wanders through the snowy landscape until Jackson flags down a truck by throwing a rock. The driver is Nima, who agrees to take them with him. Meanwhile, Helmsley's group also reaches the Ark site and notices the arrival of global elites, such as the Queen and her dogs. Only 4 Arks were completed, but one of them has been damaged in the earthquakes, and many people, including Karpov, are still waiting to be allowed on board. Helmsley and Laura are dismayed to see that the Arks are filled with wealthy individuals who have no practical skills, while the workers who built the ships weren't given tickets. Just then, Helmsley receives a heartbreaking call from Satnam, who was promised an evacuation flight, but no plane came to evacuate his family. As a tsunami approaches, Satnam says goodbye and dies with his family. Helmsley then checks new data and warns everyone they have only 30 minutes before the wave hits. Outside the facility, Nima arrives with Jackson's group, but his brother Tenzin initially refuses to let anyone but family in. Kate pleads for the children, and their grandmother scolds Tenzin into accepting the whole group. Inside, chaos erupts as people realize the damaged Ark won't be ready in time. Karpov forces his way past security, and the crowd rushes after him, but the ship begins moving from the platform, causing many people to fall to their deaths trying to board. Tenzin, however, leads Jackson's group to the Ark through a hidden path. Meanwhile, Helmsley sees the chaos outside and can no longer ignore it. He contacts world leaders and urges them to open the gates and save more lives. Anheuser tries to stop him, warning there's only 15 minutes left before the tsunami hits, but Helmsley passionately reminds them of Satnam's fate and pleads not to lose their humanity. The leaders relent and order the gates to be opened. Meanwhile, Jackson's group sneaks into the Ark through the machinery area. As the gates open and the gears start turning, Tenzin and Gordon are nearly crushed. Jackson pulls Tenzin up, but Gordon slips and is tragically killed by the gears. Jackson nearly dies as well, but a cable jams the machinery, allowing the crowd to enter, even though the gate doesn't fully open. With 4 minutes left, the tsunami crashes over the mountains. Nima's master rings the monastery bell one final time before being swallowed by the wave. Karpov, still outside, throws his sons into the Ark just before falling to his death. Because of the jammed mechanism, the gate cannot close completely, preventing the Ark from launching. Technicians spot Jackson's group on camera, and Helmsley rushes to help. As the tsunami floods the base and kills remaining workers, water breaches the Ark through the open door. Automatic doors begin sealing off sections, and Jackson's group becomes trapped. To activate the engine and avoid colliding with Mount Everest, the gate must close. Helmsley finds Jackson's daughter and communicates with the others through a wall intercom, guiding Jackson on how to release the jammed cable. Jackson takes the risk and dives into the flooded compartment, while Kate tends to Tenzin. Their son sneaks in to help Jackson by holding the flashlight. Jackson struggles, but manages to remove the cable just as the Ark strikes a rock formation. With the gate now closed, technicians start the engine, but the Ark is moving too fast and crashes against the mountainside. Boulders crack some windows, but the ship begins reversing just in time, avoiding further destruction. Everyone rejoices as Jackson reunites with his family. 27 days later, the captain announces the skies are clear, and the survivors finally step outside into the sunlight. As everyone from the 3 arks enjoys the fresh air, Helmsley checks satellite data and discovers that the floodwaters are receding, and Africa has risen in elevation. The arks immediately set course for the new continent, ready to begin a new chapter for humanity.